My administration is using the tools, every tool at its disposal, to protect American families and businesses from rising prices at the gas pump. You know, we're taking active steps to bring down the cost, and American oil and gas companies should not exploit this moment to hike their prices.
Is he threatening a nuclear strike?
I have no idea what he's threatening. I know what he has done, number one. And number two, no one expected the sanctions to prevent anything from happening.
You said in recent weeks that big nations cannot bluff when it comes to something like this. You recently said that the idea of personally sanctioning President Putin was on the table. Is that a step that you're prepared to take? And if not,
it's not a bluff, it's on the table.
Sanctioning President Putin?
Yes.
Why not sanction him today, sir?
Mr. President?
Why not sanction him today, sir?
Mr. President, if I can.
They are profound sanctions. Let's have a conversation in another month or so to see if they're working.
Well, let's find out in a month. And by the way, it was Kamala Harris that said that sanctions would deter Vladimir Putin. That's not a way forward. John McCain actually once said Russia is a gas station masquerading as a country. The only way to really deter Putin and his cronies, there is a way to defeat Putin and push him back, and it doesn't require one bullet to be fired, one American boot on the ground. It is to degrade Russia's oil and gas capabilities. That is his financial lifeline. Now, before his speech, Biden should have lifted all major restrictions on all drilling, all fracking, all exploration. He should have convened a meeting with America's top energy-producing companies and encouraged every one of them to produce energy like never before. He should have lifted every restriction that he imposed, including the permanent hold on new drilling in Alaska and ANWR, the suspension of new drilling on all federal lands, and the pause of new permits for offshore drilling. He should have also made guarantees to supply our allies with the energy that they need through American oil, American coal, and American liquefied natural gas. That didn't happen today. In fact, just the opposite. According to the White House, the sanctions are not designed to cause any disruption of the flow of Russian energy to the rest of the world. Translation, Joe Biden is going to allow Putin to continue to get rich and Russia to get even more rich. Under Putin, under Biden, even the United States, look at these numbers. Why are we importing nearly over 600,000 barrels of oil from Russia every single day? And keep in mind that the Keystone XL pipeline that Biden killed while giving the Nord Stream 2 waiver to Putin, that could pump 830,000 barrels of oil a day. And get this, even over 1 million barrels of Iranian oil were imported last March, the first time since 1991. Now, sadly, Joe will not revive the Keystone XL pipeline. He won't encourage more oil and gas production right here in the U.S. He won't do anything to increase our production. Biden takes his orders from the radical climate alarmists that is the cult of the Democratic New Green Deal Party in America. And right now on cue, Biden's climate czar, there he is, John Kerry. He's whining that war in Ukraine is distracting from his important mission to save the world from global warming. This is where his mind is at today? Take a look.
Massive emissions consequences to the war, but equally importantly, you're going to lose people's focus. You're going to lose certainly big country attention because they will be diverted, and I think it could have a damaging impact. So I hope President Putin will help us to stay on track with respect to what we need to do for the climate.
John, he doesn't care about your climate agenda. You have to be a complete idiot to say what you just said and believe what you just said. And this is the same guy, John Kerry, flying around the world in his private jet, lecturing we, the American people, about our carbon footprint. Now, clearly, the Biden administration, they seem to care more about their radical green agenda than actual peace and actual security. This is delusional, but this is where we are, with war on the European continent once again. And, of course, the mob and the media, they promised this wouldn't happen. They told us that Biden was a foreign policy expert. He would put Vladimir Putin in his place. He's the only one, he said, that went toe-to-toe with Vladimir. In June, world-class idiot Jennifer Rubin authored this glowing article in the Washington Post entitled, "The Biggest Winner in the Biden-Putin Summit, Democracy." Care to take that back? Anyway, a few months later in December, she proclaimed that Biden has effectively set a red line for Putin. Last week, New York Times genius Thomas Friedman, idiot that he is, wrote, quote, if Vladimir Putin opts to back away from invading Ukraine, even temporarily, it's because Joe Biden has matched every Putin chess move with an effective counter of his own. No, Joe's playing checkers, and it's already been checkmate. Joe doesn't know it yet. 3 days ago, one fake news CNN analyst tweeted, quote, whatever happens in Ukraine, we shouldn't underestimate the fact that the U.S. has retaken the adult share in the world. Biden has restored American leadership so damaged by Trump. The world needs us, and we have a president who can lead and does lead. They must all be high and hallucinating on some kind of chemical that we don't have at Fox, because all of that is garbage. And on Tuesday, Stephen King tweeted, Mr. Putin has made a serious miscalculation. He forgot he's no longer dealing with Trump. That's right. He's not dealing with Trump. He's dealing with the always weak, always predictable, the cognitive mess Joe Biden. And Biden once vowed that he'd go toe-to-toe with Vladimir, but now he's barely willing to play footsie as Putin is now rampaging through a major European country. How far these ambitions go, these territorial ambitions, that's anybody's guess tonight. So sadly, the question must be asked, where does this end? Take a look.
Did you underestimate Putin, and would you still describe him the way that you did in the summer as a worthy adversary?
At the time, he was, I made it clear, as an adversary, and I said he was worthy. I didn't underestimate him. And I've read most of everything he's written. Did you read? I shouldn't. I'm not being a wise guy. You heard the speech he made, almost an hour's worth of speeches, why he was going into Ukraine. He has much larger ambitions in Ukraine. He wants to, in fact, reestablish the former Soviet Union. That's what this is about.
That's probably right. Putin does have ambitions beyond Ukraine. His next target could be, what, the 3 NATO nations in the Baltic region of Europe? NATO members? That'll get interesting. Then we're looking at, what, World War III? Unless, of course, NATO is a paper tiger, which, unfortunately, I have to report tonight is probably a real possibility. And sadly, we're going to find out one way or another if Biden and Europe fail to get serious and cut off their addiction to Russian oil and gas. So far, every indication is that's not on Biden's agenda. Our own Peter Doocy asking the White House press secretary, Jen Psaki, if the administration would ever consider restarting the Keystone XL pipeline. Here's what she said. Take a look.
There's this talk about a possible forecast for financial pain, particularly at the gas pump for Americans. The president said today the notion that this is going to last for a long time is highly unlikely. Would he try to ensure that by lifting some of the restrictions that he's put in place on the energy industry or rethinking some projects like the Keystone Pipeline?
Well, first of all, the Keystone Pipeline is not flowing, so I'm not sure how that would solve anything. There's also plenty of oil leases that are not being tapped into by oil companies, so you should talk to them about that and why.
Yeah, go talk to the oil companies. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.